What is forgiveness according to the Scriptures? This is a very important point. It is central to the Christian faith that Jesus paid for all sins so that we might be forgiven, for those who would accept that by faith. Jesus also said that those who do not forgive will not be forgiven. That last point often vexes people because it seems that it is an unpardonable sin to not forgive. And people don't understand why. But it is very simple and logical to understand. Listen carefully. If you claim to believe that Jesus paid for all sins, then you must believe that a person who sins against you has been forgiven of that sin by God. If you still hold that sin against them, then you are at odds with God and don't really believe that Jesus paid for all sins. Therefore, you are not a believer and will be condemned if you persist in that unforgiveness and do not change your mind. Did you get that? If you didn't, then back up the video and play that part again. Christians forgive because of Christ in them. Non-Christians don't. It is that simple. Now, it is very important to understand what forgiveness is and isn't. Let's look at how the word is defined in the original language of the New Testament. The verb forgive is aphemi, and the corresponding noun, forgiveness, is aphesis. This is a combination of aph, or apo, which is a preposition or prefix that means off from or away, and the verb emi, which means let go or send in an active sense. So the compound means to let go off from or send off away. This is a very simple word to understand. In many places in the New Testament, the word is not translated forgive. For example, immediately leaving the nets, they follow him. Or, immediately leaving the ship and their father, they follow him. Or, Peter said, "Behold, we leave all and follow you." Or, leaving the precept of God, you hold to the tradition of men. Or, and leaving him, they all fled. That is, fled from Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Or, Jesus said to them, "Leave her." That's the woman who was anointing the feet of Jesus with expensive perfume. Or, leave the little children, and do not be forbidding them to be coming toward me. In each of these cases, the word leave is the same word as what it is translated in other places as forgive. In fact, out of 163 times the original word is used, it is only translated forgive, or pardon, or something to that effect, 67 times. In the English language and modern times, it is best to think of the financial use of the word forgive. If a debt is, quote, forgiven, unquote, it is canceled and not held to one's account anymore. From this you can see an important point, which is that forgiveness is not a feeling, but a condition where you do not hold the debt or transgression to someone's account anymore. Your decision and corresponding actions will determine whether you have forgiven someone. In a modern landscape of people saying that they have forgiven, while divorcing, suing, and demanding justice for wrongs done to them, talk is cheap, but actions speak louder than words. Note that a sin cannot be reversed or undone. There is no change in the history and fact that a person committed a sin. It is just a matter of whether that sin will be held to their account, and by who. Jesus paid for sins so that they are considered remitted, forgiven, pardoned, and not held to our account. If we are Christians, then we have the same mindset and conclusion about others, including those who sin against us. In summary, forgiveness is not a feeling about people's sins. It is a matter of deciding to leave it and let it go, and acting accordingly from that point on.